Dr. Wilcox is in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well.
Are you?
I'm an eye doctor. I do eye doctor things all day long. But the fact is, when I look at a patient, their walk, their eyes, I'm putting it all together because that's my area of interest. Is the eye? I like to say, if I wrote a book, it would be called "The Eye Bones Connected to the Knee Bone."
Oh, cool.
And
I like that
because it's all connected, and we're encouraged in this day and age to see 700 patients an hour. And and so this cattle farming of people, you can't do what I do if you're a cattle farmer, and so I'm not don't mean anything mean to the people who have to practice that way, but I look at the bigger picture and spend a little bit more time talking to people and offering some alternative stuff. And then alternative stuff, I hate to say energy, but it is. And people go, oh, energy, you're so, what, woo-woo, crystals. And it's like, well, the fact is, you have crystal quartz watches because they're emitting energy, And, but when I'm talking energy, it's magnetic fields. It's frequencies. And this radio is getting to your ears because of energy.
Does that have anything to do with the fact that I don't have to wind my watch?
Well, if you have a quartz watch, so let's stick to the eyes because we got off campus here a little bit.
You just got me interested.
The point is, what I'm telling people is you check your heart rate. You're in the energy in your heart, in your brain, and you feel that person's emotions. And God forbid, we talk about the fact that when my mother was amazing at this, she'd say, "I'm thinking about insert name here," and the phone would ring and they're calling and whatever it is. So there's people who are empathic. They can feel things. We emit energy. There are cameras out there that show your aura. So when our energy is off, we get sick. We're supposed to, if you think of a rainbow of colors, and then you have black. Okay, so of these rainbow of colors, these different energy areas in the zone of the colors of the rainbow, red has this, and blue has this, and yellow has this, and green has that. Well, black is a lack of it. And so that means you got to take the black and turn it into the color it should be. And again, I'm speaking globally here, guys.
I understand.
And so the reason we're sick is because we're in dysfunction. We have function and dysfunction, and we're out of it. And so what you have to do is you have to go introduce a form of energy to get you back in sync, to put you back in harmony. A bad song, somebody who's out of key, you got to put them back in key. And so how do you do that? Well, you can do that with versions of light. We go from the ultraviolet to the colors to the infrared and these little wavelengths of light. Magnets, on, off, on, off. You take a magnet, you push one, you put them, and you can move the other magnet away by getting it closer because it's emitting energy, or you can have them suck together. And there's ways to do that with polarization or non-polarization of things to get your weakened cells, organ, body system back in sync. We have molecules of energy. They're constantly moving around. We have this important molecule called oxygen, and it's called the forgotten nutrient by this one leader in the world. And it is the forgotten nutrient. You sit here and people think you're being the smart aleck when you sit here and go, well, let's put a bag over your head and cut out this oxygen. How long will you last? Well, that's crazy. You'll kill me. And well, yeah. So if you're low on magnesium or potassium or D or zinc or copper and all these things, then you're going to have a relative problem and a relative, maybe not as serious and significant as a loss of oxygen.
And so all of that affects your eyesight?
Oh my God, dude, we are a chemistry set, and we have to be perfectly proportioned within a little range throughout our body. And some cells and some organs need more copper than they need zinc, and it's a chemistry set. So if we look at ourselves as plumbing, as the blood vessels, as wires, the nerves, as a chemistry set, with all these different chemicals that we're made out of, including iron and water and hydroxy groups and all. And it's a magnificent, we're made magnificently perfect, and we screw it up. And we screw it up because we choose to by what we put in our body, or what happens to us because we happen to be in a toxic environment, including a bad relationship where your energy is down. You have stress in your life, and you can feel it in your chest, and whatever it is. So I'm an eye doctor, and this is just the area that I know these very important tissues called your eyes, which are part of your brain, and suck up 65-ish% of your brain in responsibility of managing vision, that it's important that we do this. So I'm going to talk about...
Is that 65% of your brain is used?
Dude, you're getting a bad grade. How many times have I said stuff like this to you?
I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
Yeah. The numbers are varied because it's hard to nail. It's not 10.
Those of us that are smarter, it might be less.
Okay. So the fact is, it's over 50, below 80, and there's some number in there. Okay. And it's just amazing. So we see so much in the eyes. As a matter of fact, one of your radio listeners came in the office and said, I want to know if I have early signs of dementia by looking in the eyes, because we can find it.
That's right. You talked about that.
And so we came in, we did the normal, quote, eye exam stuff, and then we did some scanning things that look at certain nerve tissue in the brain, the eye, and she was good to go. So she was worried about what investments I have to make in my body. Should I be thinning out here? And I kind of say it's kind of like going bald. If you're somebody who's going bald, you're going to lose one hair, then 2 hairs, then 4 hairs. And we expect to lose some hair, but it takes a lot of hair loss before you look at somebody and say, hey, your hair is thinning. Well, we have nerve fibers in our eyes, which are brain. And if you're losing nerve fibers in your eyes in this thickness to your retina, then you're losing it in your brain, because eyes are brain. So I look at people, and now for her, it was an easy sell because she came in looking for it. But when you find people and you have these thinning disorders and you bring this up to them, it's like there's 3 monkeys, the hands over the eyes, the mouth, and the ears, and that's fine. But it's still my job to advise, and I have a fair number of people who listen, and again, referral to somebody else or me, and options and things. So,
a question.
Yes,
How
sir.
did you get to this point when the average eye doctor does an eye exam and gives you glasses or contacts or nothing?
Well, because that's their choice, and I have my choices. Okay? And I'm a dog person. I'm not a cat person. They can have a iguana. I mean, people have choices in life. And the sad truth is, when there's a awareness on the part of any, let's just say, since we're talking about it, healthcare providers, of these alternative things, and they go pshaw, well then people will go pshaw until it's their wife or child or themselves, and they go, wow, I'm going to try this other stuff. People go down to Mexico for their cancer treatment when they're told you have 0% chance of survival here, so what do I have to lose? And America is becoming more aware of these alternative things. Now mind you, the use of magnets for brain tumors has been going on for a long time. People have these just magnets on off, and it's kind of a swim cap over their head, and that's just magnetic fields. And I'm not doing those things. I'm just saying that it's used out there. And you go, oh well, that's a neurologist, and they have a brain tumor, and they know what they're doing. Well, I'm sorry, it's brain. Eye is brain. Brain is eye, and and so that's a serious thing because you have a limited life expectancy. But this GBM tumor, horrible stuff, and a brain tumor. There's years that people have extended life, and studies that are going on, and I know of these things. You can read papers, but so back to me.
Okay.
I'm an eye doctor. Recently, the guy who had the Bell's palsy, he had COVID, herpes on the shingles, shingles on the side of his head, lost his left side of his tongue, lost the proper movement of his eye,
the left side of his tongue, right?
The feel and the performance. And he lost taste, and he had night sweats, and he's in there because his eye won't close. So I'm an eye doctor. So what do? You go put magnetic fields, you put frequencies, and some of this activated oxygen or ozone gas, and you just blitzkrieg them, not necessarily always knowing what works, but he had like 80% resolution after a couple hours of doing this stuff. And then after a few more treatments, he's good to go, and he's 95% well. And he wasn't. And gal in last week who couldn't close her left eye for 10 years. And she had a skin tumor on the side of her head, right by her eye. And when they did this, what's called a Z-flap, where they're filling in the hole,
right?
It disallowed her eye. She can forcibly close her eye, but she couldn't fully close it passively. And there's always a slit. Pictures to prove it. And after an hour and a half of blitzkrieging her with stuff, boom, the eye's closed, and it's been closed ever since. And it's because, what did it do? Magnetic fields. Frequencies. You play the sound that those cells want to heal, to come back in resonance.
Is it an experimental? Is the sound similar for everyone?
No. So
okay.
the example I use is, because this is how my brain works. You're at a dance gala of every genre of dance music out there, from 90-year-olds to 2-year-olds, and there's people who have their top 3 songs they like, and they have the music. They'll get up and leave the dance floor and say, "I can't stand that music." So basically, it's not a tone, but it's a song. All these different tones. So our bodies, different spots in our bodies and cells and organelles, they have their favorite songs. They have their favorite tones, which gets them up dancing on the dance floor. It gets them up-regulated. There's up-regulation. I'm happy. I'm dancing. I'm doing my thing. And if it's a protein or an enzyme or whatnot that has an activity that it provides, that gives us healing. And then you have these down regulations. Like, I'm getting off the dance floor. I'm not going to help out, and I'm getting out of here because that's a negative stimulus for me. And so, yes, everything has its own. The more and more learning is going on out there, and we're using this in macular degeneration. We're using known, proven frequencies, songs, sounds, and that excite in things that will say, my job is to have stem cells come here. So if you put that frequency in there, then stem cells from your hip, your body, will gravitate. Will say, hey, I'm going over here to this party with this song I like, and I'm going to get, and then they go heal things. You have...
What is macular degeneration, first of all?
Age-related eye disease in the back of the eye, in the sweet spot in the back of the eye called the macula, where you get a accumulation of trash, dead cells, and blood vessel weakness, leaky things, and it's a whole plethora of things, a spectrum of things. But if you think in the back of your eye, if you took your back of your eye out and you put it on a dartboard, the red bullseye is your macula, and then these rings as you go further out are more distant from the bullseye. And it's problems in the bullseye of the back of the eye, and it's usually age related. Usually you get it when you got 40 plus years, and as you go. Number one cause of blindness in certain populations of people. But so the point is, whether it's a nerve problem, back to the house, we have pipes, we have our biochemistry, we have wires, and we have the use of different emitters that are repurposed for currently, and we're working on making emitters specifically for the eyes, but repurposed to work on magnetic fields, on different frequencies, quote songs, and then something that I've been part of for years, lecturing internationally and nationally on, is the use of ozone. And remember, bag over your head, no oxygen. Well, it's oxygen and a half, activated oxygen. You say activated oxygen, somebody says, I want that. You say ozone, they go, oh my God, you're going to kill me. And it's
because we think of the ozone.
I know, and then that's air, which is 20% oxygen and 80% other stuff. And when you have that, you get a bunch of pollution-y things in it. But when you start off with pure oxygen, you get pure ozone. And another story, another day. So I'm an optometrist. We do optometry things all day long, and and usually
Optometry things meaning eye exams, glasses, contacts.
And then the other thing is, in my life, what I've done many times, like I do this myopia control. You put a contact in your eye before you go to bed, and then you take it off, and you see
which is amazing.
And you see all day with nothing in your eyes, and it keeps you from getting more nearsighted. Well, I used to publish and lecture and do a study on that till I knew so much about it, I moved on. Scleral lenses, these people with sick corneas, typically that's who you're putting them on. Learned it, accomplished it. There's people smarter about it than I am, but I'm good enough that I provide these things. And now I'm spending all my time, in addition to the normal stuff, doing these other things. And once you get involved in the ballpark of the workings of these three things I'm talking about, generally magnetic fields and frequencies and ozone and whatnot, then you get to find out that the eye bone's connected to the knee bone, and this is more and more healthcare providers of all stripes, of all degrees, are going to be doing more of this stuff, and some of them know about it and are doing it, and some of them will find that they're going to be doing it. And it's beautiful. It's a blessing to know these things.
Well, again, I want to remind everybody, Dr. Wilcox is an eye doctor. He's down there at the Point. If you go in and you have an eye problem and all you're interested in is glasses, contacts, want to know what's up, fix it, that's fine. He will give you the options of many of the things that he's talking about, but that's because he cares. And you can say, nah, I'm just interested in glass, whatever it takes. Everybody does not have to go through these treatments or anything else. But because he cares, he offers you the opportunity. If it fits.
Yeah, you're right.
If it fits, wear it.
It's right. Right. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
And I have a gal. I got an email yesterday from Stanton, Virginia, and she found me somehow, some way. Actually, she found me because I lectured at a autism conference at William & Mary in 2017 or 18, and some communication got around to her world, and boop, she's coming in. She has a big problem that we're going to work on.
But you have lectured internationally?
Oh yeah, I've done it for years, and and then there's international lectures that occur in the United States.
Sure.
And what it does is you go lecture. Oh my God, it takes tons of hours to put things together. And by the time you've done putting things together, then you get a little bit smarter. And now you're also networked with, this is the other gift I have. I'm never the smartest guy in the room, but I'm a cell phone or an email away from somebody who is. And on a daily basis, I'm reaching out with in the middle exam, blah, 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 call somebody, and that's fine because I find those people, they find me, and so it's nice to be
and he
humble.
He works with local doctors, local physicians, local professionals.
Yeah, that's number one. Number 1, 2, and 3 is local, and then you go out to other areas as you need to. And it's fine. And I can get off on all these little rabbit holes.
See, the thing that would scare me is lecturing to the people you're lecturing to. You've got a room full of
smart people.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That really know their stuff.
And the funny thing is, so I'm doing this study, and there's this big company of there's hundreds of millions of dollars of research going on globally for all these different parts of the body with all these different people, and I communicate this way, and I just had a reach out, someone's a third grader, or reach out to a third grader, or whatever it is. I just put my belly up and said, somebody help me out with some of these things I don't understand. And this person who's got a PhD in molecular biology or whatever the heck it is, Sejal, wonderful. She put up with me for an hour, just like going, just feed me slowly. Sure. And then at the end, okay. And that's where my song thing kind of came in, the V8.
I like that. Yeah.
And I said, Sejal, with these emails I sent, what do y'all think about me? She says, we love it. Because you're the only guy who speaks this way. And just like Andrew Senek will tell you, a great motivational speaker. When you're in the boardroom and you raise your hand and you go, I don't understand it, most everyone else doesn't understand it as well.
Exactly.
And they're afraid to raise their hand, and I ain't. You know, I don't have any time to worry about what you think about me, because I think that's the gift of being one of 12 kids, to make this whole thing a circle.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
sure.
you just go, whatever, moving on.
Stop in, see Dr. Wilcox and his crew down there, and if he can help, he will, and otherwise, he finds somebody who will.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
All
hard.
right. Dr. Wilcox, everybody. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.